I have a new crafty obsession, and I am so excited to be sharing it with you. Hello there, it's Hillary of Creative Faith & Co., and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be walking through how you can make your own DIY journal charms for your traveler's notebooks, for your planners, for your happy planners. I'm going to walk through step by step what to do, and I'm really, really excited to be sharing this a totally new, exciting craft. So, I want to start by walking through the story of how I got going and how I got started making these. So, I've only been making them for a few weeks, but I have been having so much fun. So, I do have a blog post and I pulled it up to kind of walk through it, and that's going to be kind of like my outline for the video. But back in college, studied abroad in Costa Rica, and I had just the best host family ever, and I still stay in touch with them to this day. And they came to visit in early January, and my host mom really wanted to go to Hobby Lobby. She was back when I was in college, really loved paper crafting and things like that. And now she's really into jewelry making. And so we were at Hobby Lobby and she was walking around. I don't even know really how I thought of this, but I thought, oh, I would love to make my own journal charms, but I wasn't really sure how to go about doing it. But I thought, well, I bet my host mom could help me and walk me through the process. And I thought, oh, this would be a really sweet activity to do together. So we got the supplies and went back to my house. And this is my host mom and host sister and I making our journal charms. And we had so much fun together. And it like set me off on this whole journal charm journey. And I have just been really liking it. It's very meditative, like it's kind of, I'm going to use the word monotonous, but you just can kind of get in a rhythm of making it. I love it because if you make a mistake or want to undo it, it's super easy, which is good for my perfectionist tendencies. And I also am such a visual learner, which I talk about here. And that's why I love Bible journaling, right? Images help remind me of different things about God. And so, like my word for the year, which I am going to talk more about in a different video, but my word for the year is walk. And so, this was the very first journal charm I made. I got this little cowgirl boot to represent walking with God. And then I got this prayer warrior charm to remind me to pray. The flowers remind me of growing in my faith and flourishing in life. And the heart reminds me to love God and love others. And so all these little charms are little images that remind me of different things in my relationship with the Lord. Butterflies represent transformation. I have a lot of like Valentine's-y things here because, well, I love my husband, but my first love is the Lord. And so all of these little images are little symbols to remind me of different aspects of God. So, anyways, we had such a fun time and making them together, and it set me off on this adventure of making my own journal charms, and I want to share this process with you. One of the things I realized as I was kind of shopping around for supplies, I started off, we went to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and I was realizing how expensive journal charms are. Like all these little things on the bottom, they were really kind of expensive. So then I went to Amazon after my host family left. We used the ones from Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and they of course worked fine. But I thought, well, if I want to make more of these, I want to see if there's like a more affordable way to do it. Well, so then I go on Amazon, and most of the charms on Amazon, you have to get like 50 to 100 of them. And it got me thinking, like, the average person doesn't need to own like 100 journal charms. That is a lot. And so I came up with this idea to make kits, DIY kits, journal charm kits. And I also have some that I have already made as well. So I'm going to walk you through everything. But that's where this idea came for me to make these little kits with a bunch of different charms inside. And that way you can make your own journal charms at your home and have like a variety and a selection of different little icons you can choose from, that are all packaged and put together in one spot. So that was kind of my idea. I was like, you know what, it would be really great to have a collection of a bunch of different types of charms. And I was really intentional in what I picked out, and I'll walk you through that. But anyways, so that's where I have these little journal charm kits in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. Now, I also made 10 journal charms that I already like assembled and put together. So, if you don't want to take the time to make your own journal charm, you can totally buy one that I already made and put together. And these are like one of a kind. I'm not going to ever recreate this particular collection of beads and charms ever again. So if you see one you like, definitely pick it up. Again, there's 10 available, and I will show you those in a moment. Well, let's actually just jump right in, and I'll start by showing you those, and then I'll show you the kits, and then I'll show you how to make them. And I'm also going to show you different places you can put them. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff in this video. So the 10 that are available to purchase are these over here. I'll start with my husband's favorite. This one, I think I called Growing in Faith. It has a little flower and a little Bible or book and a little cross. This one I called it Pink Purple Flyaway. I was just kind of picking random names, but it has a little butterfly and a bow charm and hope with a purple bead. And in the Etsy description, you can see what each of the journal charms comes with. I made one I called Periwinkle Tea Time, and this one has a cute little teacup and these periwinkle beads with a heart and a butterfly. And then this one I called Pink Hope, that has a pink bead and some clear beads with the little pink hope charm at the bottom. And then it has a bow charm and a tea kettle and a little Bible. This one I think I called Blue Peace, that has some blue beads with the cross on the bottom. It has a blue butterfly and a white flower. And then this one was a cowgirl themed one. So it has a yellow flower, a black hope charm, and then a cowgirl boot and hat and a horse with this orange bead on top. Then this one has some sort of green in the name. And it has a green butterfly, a green flower, and a green heart. It's super, super cute. And then I made 3 Valentine's themed ones. I love Valentine's Day. I cannot wait to set up my traveler's notebook for this month. So this is the first one called Love Letters. You have a little love letter, pink flower, a red butterfly, and this little chain of hearts. And then I have this one, which is called Key to My Heart. It has a little key to my heart charm, a heart, a pink butterfly, and a flower. And then the last one is called Sweet Love, and it has this little candy, a pink flower, and a white heart. So those are the 10 that are available for purchase in my Etsy shop. And if these like sell out really fast, then I will probably make more. But we'll just kind of see. So I thought that would be fun to have 10 that are ready to go, ready for you to purchase. So I'm going to slide those aside. And then next, I have my little blog post here. I want to talk about where I like to put journal charms before I dive into the other supplies. So, of course, I love putting them on traveler's notebooks. So, you can see my traveler's notebooks come with elastic on the front, and that is a really fun place to put a journal charm. There's also elastic on the spine, and that is also a really fun place to have a journal charm hanging down. Here's another one of my traveler's notebooks. This one has a little pen holder on the front. And you can also put a little journal charm like that. Here's one that I made for Valentine's Day. Some cute little charms. So you can put them on the top, or in the middle or the spine of your traveler's notebooks. You can also put them on spiral planners. So here's my planner for the year. I am still working on getting it set up, but it will be set up sometime. And here is the charm I made for my planner for the year. And this is using charms that come in the DIY kits that are available in my Etsy shop. So I'll show you this more later, but you can add them to your planners. You can also add them to spiral Bibles. So this is a Psalms Bible that I'm using this year. I also have the Illustrating Bible too that has a spiral binding on it. And so you can clip your charms to there. So I do plan to make one for my Psalms Bible, and I'll probably film the process for that and share that in an upcoming YouTube video. So you can put them on spiral Bibles. You can also add charms to happy planners. So what I did here is I took a little piece of lace and I put it through the heart, and then I attached it to the piece of lace because little lobster claws aren't big enough to go around that. But by adding a little piece of lace or string, you can add the lobster claws. And I think it looks so cute to have your charms on a happy planner. And another thing that I haven't tried yet, but I kind of want to, is using a grommet thing and punching a hole in like the binding of a Bible. So like punching a little hole through here. You can see there's like some space there. So I thought if I punch a hole and use this grommet thing here, I can add a little piece of lace and have it hang down the spine of a Bible. So I'm going to try to do that. Let me know if you'd want to see that in a YouTube video. That was another thought I had of where you could put a journal charm. And then lastly, the last place you could put a journal charm that I thought of is a zippered Bible cover. So you can, like those little Bible covers that you put your Bible in that have a zipper around it, you could totally attach a little charm to that zipper. So those are some ideas and examples of where you can put journal charms. So now I'm going to walk through the basic journal charm making supplies, and I'm going to talk about the kits that I have, the DIY kits that are available in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. So let me try to kind of clear room here in my desk area. So for basic journal supplies, journal charm supplies, what you're going to need are charms, and that is what I have here in these little kits. You're also going to need small jewelry pliers. I got these from Hobby Lobby. They're the brand The Bead Smith. These are special jewelry making pliers. So this does not come in this kit. So you'll need these, and then you'll also need jump rings. So jump rings do not come in these kits. You'll have to get your own jump rings. But I was going to kind of show you some of my favorite sizes that I like to use. So you do get 2 lobster claws. That's these little guys here in this kit. So you can for sure make 2 journal charms, but there's definitely, I like to put like 3 to 5 charms on one. And there are 17 charms included in this, so that's plenty to make like 5 different journal charms. But you will have to order more little lobster claws if you want to make more than 2. So my favorite size is the 15 millimeter. So it's a little bit bigger. So this is a smaller size. You can see the 15 millimeter is quite a bit bigger. So I like the 15 millimeter lobster claws. And then for jump rings, well, first I'll show you, this is the set we got at Hobby Lobby. But it had a lot of things that I don't need, but it came with all these different jump rings. It came with eye pins. It came with different lobster clasps. So the smaller ones are 12 millimeter, but I really like 15. And it did also come with 2 28 millimeters. So you could also use this really big boy. But I found that I really like the 15 millimeter lobster clasps. And then jump ring size, these are 10 millimeters and these are 9. And I like using these kind of beneath the lobster claw. You can see there. And in like a lot of the different examples I showed you, like this is a 10 millimeter. And then I have all the charms dangling down. So I really like the bigger ones at the top. And then I have these smaller ones I use to make chains. So I like the 6 millimeter is really ideal, or 5 millimeter. I found 4 millimeter is just a little too small for me to work with. And I mean, I wear glasses and stuff, and I'm pretty like nimble, but I don't know, the 4 millimeter are just really small. So 6 millimeter is my favorite for making little chains, but 5 millimeter also works. So I like using those sizes for making the little chains. And then 8 is also a slightly larger size, of course, but I kind of mostly use, like if I were to tell you to only get 2, I would get 9 and 6 probably. 6 for making little chains and 9 for kind of the bigger one up top. So if you buy one of these kits in my Etsy shop, you'll also need to get jump rings and jewelry pliers. But then once you have those, you will be able to use your kit to make tons of different journal charms. And so I made this example using only charms that come in these kits. I am later on in the video going to show you how to add beads to it as well. But the simplest way is to use the little jump rings and the charms. And I love to layer them and things like that. So I'm going to walk through a process as well in a moment. But that is kind of the basic supplies. You have charms, you have jump rings, you have lobster claw clasps, and pliers are the basic supplies. So in these little kits that I made, you get 17 different charms. So let's see if I can remember all of them, or maybe I'll put a little image on the screen so you can see what it comes with. So I'll put the little image here so you can see. I'll try and do it by memory, but there's 3 Valentine's charms. There's 3 butterfly charms. And then there's 2 bow charms. So we're at 3, 6, 7, 8. There's a tea kettle and a tea cup. There's a little cross. There's a white heart. there's a hope charm, there's a cowgirl element, so either a boot, a hat, or a horse, and there's a little book Bible charm. I think that's it. So there's various styles. Like each one of these little kits is different. It's like the Valentines, the butterflies, the hope, the bows. There were a variety, so each one is a little bit different. Like the teacup and kettle and the white heart and the cross and the Bible, those are all the same in all of the kits. So you could totally buy multiple of these kits and use it, to make even more different types of journal charms. So I will have, again, these kits linked in the Etsy shop. It'll be in the description box below the link, or you can also buy the pre-made ones too. So those are the basic supplies. And then maybe I will walk through the process of how to make a journal charm using the basic supplies, and then I'll show you the more advanced supplies and the process with that. I think that's what I'll do. So I'm going to sit down for this. So I'll set this aside, set those aside, and I'll get out. I have these two of these little organizers. And I'm going to only use charms that are included in the kit. So I love to use 3 to 5 charms per journal charm. And so you start with the lobster claw. And then I'm going to pull one of the bigger jump rings. And I'm probably going to connect it. Probably use like an 8mm to connect it. No, I'll use 6mm to connect it there. I kind of like build it down. And then I pick which charms I want. So oftentimes I'll kind of like have in mind where I'm going to use it. So like for Valentine's Day, you can make a Valentine's Day one for your Valentine's notebook. You could do more florals and a cross for a spring one. So I'm just going to kind of see what jumps out at me. I might make kind of one with a pink color scheme, maybe. I love the little hope charms. I love the crosses, of course. Let's see. I also love the little butterflies. That's really cute. And the tea kettles too, I think are adorable. But I probably want to keep this more minimal because of the video length. So I think I'll probably just do 3 charms on this one. We have a little cross, hope, and a butterfly. So I'm going to use my little pliers, and the jump rings are really easy to just open up. So I just use my fingers and open it with the little pliers. And I'm going to put it through. And then I know I want my other jump ring on the bottom. And then I just use my little pliers to close it. So now I have the start of my journal charm. So I like having a little like dangling charm. I like to kind of have things layered. And so I think maybe I also like having, if there's multiple colored elements, it's nice to kind of have one up top and one at the bottom so that the colors are kind of spread out. And for ease, I'm going to use the larger 6mm. The 5mm I have, a bunch of them came with one of the charm packs I got, but they're all apart. and so they're just a little bit more time consuming to use. So I'm making a little chain and I'm putting 3 of them together. So I open one of them up and then I put 2 on it to make a little chain. And then I close it up. And I really love these because you can totally mix it up if you're like, oh, I don't like how long that turned out, or whatever. You can just open it up and redo it. So now I'm connecting the 2 chains I made with an additional jump ring to make a long chain. There's my long chain. I put 7 of them together. So I'm going to open the bottom one and put the hope charm on it. And then I'm going to open the very top one and slide it on the main jump ring. So we're just kind of building. And it's so fun to think of like different combinations of charms and different lengths of things. And but this is the basic one, but then I'll show you some other cool things that you can do with these as a more advanced for part 2 of this video. So now we have our jump ring and our little dangly hope charm that we made. So then I'm going to add my little cross and my butterfly, and we will be all set. So for the butterfly, I'm just going to use 1. So it's going to be more at the top. I open the jump ring, put the butterfly on, then I'm going to connect it to the larger 9mm jump ring, and then I'm going to close it. Then our butterfly is now secure. And then for the cross, I think I'm going to have it kind of try to have it be in the middle so that the butterfly is at the top, the cross is in the middle, and then the hope is at the bottom. And so I'm going to make a little loop of 3, a little chain again. And then I'm going to, I want it to be not as long as the hope one, but so just slightly shorter. I'm going to open another one and put the cross on. And I'm going to connect it to the chain we made and close it up. You're just kind of building chains and adding charms. Now we have our little cross chain, and then I can open the top one and connect it to that larger 9mm jump ring and close it. And there you have your basic journal charm. You can see it has a longer hope, a middle cross, and a shorter butterfly. And you can attach it to all sorts of things. I'll just attach it to my journal so you can kind of see it laid out there. And of course, they're not going to be like perfectly laid out when you're carrying your journal around. That is the example for the more basic journal charm where you are using jump rings to create chains and layering your charms. So that is exactly what you can make using this kit in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. So you get this kit, you would get 9mm and 6mm jump rings and pliers, and you could make this exact thing. So that is kind of the basic version. So then I'm going to show you a more advanced version. And I'm going to use this one I already made as sort of an example. I can get it off. So this is what we actually what my host mom kind of started me with because she's into beading. So let me list we've now moved on to the more advanced journal charm making supplies. So there might be another way to make this, but she showed me this one-step looper. So this is the tool I've been using. And then the other thing that you'll need, these are called eye pins. You can see it has a little eye on the top. And beads. So we got some from Hobby Lobby and Michael's, like that one. But then I went to Walmart and I actually got a pack of beads from Walmart. And so I got this pastel pack. So it had beads, it had some blue, it had some periwinkle, and it had orange and green. So I loved that pack and that was very affordable. So the step up, the more complex charm making supplies again, is this one-step looper, 2-inch eye pins, and beads. So now I'm going to walk you through how to make a slightly more advanced journal charm. For making this kind of more, I'm calling it advanced, but it really is not that challenging. But I'm going to show you kind of a few different ways I like to do this. So my favorite way is to have a bead at the top and then a larger jump ring and then the charms underneath. I think that looks super pretty. You can see I did it in multiple of the ones that I am selling in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. It's kind of a nice little formula I like to use for making journal charms. So I have one bead that I put at the top, and then I have a larger jump ring and the charms dangling down. So that is kind of my formula. So here's another one I did it for with the cowgirl one. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So you start with your eye pin and you pick which color bead you want to use. Maybe I should actually think about the thing in general for what it's going to look like. Because I don't want to like use an orange bead and then not have anything that matches it. I really love these little periwinkle ones, but maybe I'll do a pink one actually. I have a lot of pink stuff in here. Maybe I could make a Valentine's one. So I have my eye pin and I just put the bead on. I'm just using one bead on an eye pin. So there might be another tool you can use besides this, but this is what my host mom used and this is what I got. So what you do is you stick it through. See, there's like a little hole over here. So you stick it in like this and push it down to where it hits the bead. And then you squeeze it closed and see it made a loop and cut off the excess. So now you have a bead with two little holes on it. So again, there's probably another tool, or you could maybe just use your pliers and wire cutters, but that's what my host mom showed me how to do. So that's what I am showing you. So now we have our one bead that we're going to use. And so now I'm going to connect the bead to the lobster clasp. So you can reopen one of these and attach it directly, or you could use one of the jump rings to connect your bead to your lobster clasp. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put the little jump ring through the bead and then through the lobster clasp and close it. So that is the start of the charm. And then we would just do the same exact process that we did earlier, where you gather your supplies. So let's see, I still have some of these Valentine charms that I was sort of saving. Of the little ballerina dress. That might be cute. What else? You have a little rose, cake, little heart. Kind of like a little pencil. Maybe we'll do that. So then I have that charm, and maybe I'll do a little book to go along with the pencil, and maybe a flower. That's kind of cute. I like it. So those are the 3 little charms I'm going to do. And then I think for the sake of time for this video, I'm going to off camera build my little chains and attach it. And then I'm going to show you one more way that you can build a slightly more complex, advanced journal charm. So here is that journal charm. I did forget to mention that I put this larger jump ring on. And then I just built the little chains and added the flower, the book, and the pencil. So that is our first kind of more complicated, more advanced journal charm, is adding 1 bead. Super cute. Maybe I'll put this in one of your Etsy orders. The other day someone ordered something and I made them a custom journal charm and put it in as like a surprise thank you. So you never know what'll end up in your Etsy orders when you purchase. Okay, so that is the one kind. So then the next kind I want to show you is another example using beads, but it's using beads in a slightly different way. And it is making or adding multiple beads to your journal charms. So it's using a similar process. Pull out the little examples here so you can see what they look like. You can see all of these have a little strand of multiple beads. And that is another really fun way to make the charms more interesting, to get more creative. So, and this is actually what I did on my very first journal charm that I made. I made this strand with multiple beads on it and added charms on the end. So to do that, it is the same process. You take your eye pin and you pick which beads you want to add to it. So let's see, which ones will I pick? I think maybe I'll pick these blue ones. And I mean, the most you can really fit on a 2-inch one is 5 if they're small. I guess if you had really small beads, you could fit more. But I have these ones here. And I think I'm just going to do 3. But I could do 5 if I wanted, or 4. Sometimes I'll mix up the beads. You'll see I have pink, green, pink. Here you see I have big or small, big, small. You can, again, just play and have fun and make it your own. I also did get like different shaped beads. Like I have these little stars that I haven't actually used yet. but that would be another cute combo of having a star with it. Or I could even like put the star in the middle or the hearts in the middle. I could do purple or blue. And then these stars are a little bit difficult. Can't get the wire all the way through. Like they're clogged. Wonder if I got a bad set. Maybe the hole's too small for the wire. You'd think it should be able to go all the way through. Maybe I'll do the example with a heart instead. So you could do like a blue heart blue. So the options are endless with how you can customize these and make them your own. You could play around with different color schemes. Ooh, this one's kind of cute. Blue, pink, blue. Kind of like that. Kind of fun. Anyways, this video is going to be very long if I keep being so indecisive. So I do the same thing where I put the beads on and I pull out the one-step looper and I feed it through. See that? And then close it. And it makes the little loop. And you want to make sure that it closes all the way too. And that's the case not just with the one-step looper, but with all of them. You want to make sure that all the little jump rings are closed so they don't fall off. So I really like having 1 or 2 charms, or even you could put more, on the end of the little beads. So I've been liking doing the little crosses, but I kind of want to mix it up a little bit. So maybe I'll put one of the little bows. That's kind of cute. I could put a bigger bow. That's fun and pretty. So then I'll just use 6mm jump ring and connect this with the bow and close it. And then I'm going to add a jump ring to the top of that. And also you can keep it simple too. Maybe I'll just do this one really simple and just do the jump ring and a lobster claw. So you definitely don't need to add as many charms as I do for each one. Like even just that is really simple and beautiful. Like that would be so gorgeous off of my Bible. But if you wanted to, you could make more chains and add more chains with charms off of it as well. But we'll just keep that one simple. So that is how you make journal charms. I was going to mention one other thing. I haven't done it yet, but I had the idea of printing Creative Faith printables on Shrinky Dink paper. So this is the paper that you put in the oven and it shrinks up and becomes like hard plastic. So I will do this in a different video, but my thought was I can print Creative Faith printables on these. I also accidentally didn't get 8.5 by 11. I got this funny size, so I need to figure out how to use this in my printer. And it only works on inkjet printers. It won't work on laser printers because laser printers use heat and that would shrink this. So anyways, that is going to be like a triple advanced is to make your own charms using Creative Faith printables. So stay tuned for that. Let me know if you'd want to see that in a process video. But I have had so much fun today making these journal charms. I hope you loved watching this, and I hope this video is inspiring you to try something new, to be creative. I have a blog post, and I'm going to work on adding the links to it and stuff, to the different things I mentioned. And I'll try to link like the One Step Looper on Amazon and some things on Amazon too. But it has like instructions and photos. And I also put tons of photos at the end, and I'll keep updating this. So if you are like, I need some ideas on like how did Hillary layer them? What charms did she put where? Like this one was from my host sister, and she added two of the bead things together and pieced them together. So, and she even added like charms in the middle of them. So the options are endless of being creative and trying new things. So that blog post will have lots of pictures for you to use for inspiration. So be sure to pick up a charm kit in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. Be sure to pick up a put together charm in the Etsy shop too. If you want to get one of those out, get one of these and support Creative Faith & Co. I love how they all turned out. And I hope this is your sign to try something new this year, to be creative. God is creative and you are made in his image. And making these has just been like really, I'm going to use the word healing. Like it makes me kind of choked up, like super healing for me to just play and have fun in a totally new way that I haven't ever done before. And so I hope this video encourages you to try new things, to step outside of your comfort zone, to make beautiful things just for the fun of it, and to be creative and pause and slow down and yeah, just play. That is what it's all about. So be sure to let me know if you have any questions down below. I will try my best to answer them. Again, I am not an expert by any means, but I'm excited and just having a ton of fun with these. So be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss out on any Creative Faith videos. Again, I do want to do probably a process making one for my Psalms Bible. Yeah, let me know what you want to see if you want to see more journal charm videos. And thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye, friend.